Morning, YouTube. So let's see, what can I bitch about today? No. Called Danny and talked to Danny for a while this morning. He's in good mood and stuff. But I don't know if you guys watched those other videos, but I'm moving from 5,000 square feet to less. And over the years, I have collected so much stuff. And I think I did a little tirade the other day about how every time I turn around, there's some little box or tray or large ashtray that's got 3 or 4 dirty pipes in it and bits and pieces of tobacco. And how every time I turn around, there's a bag, of unmarked tobacco, And so I'm getting ready to start, I'd rather pack those first because those are the most fun to pack. And I know I'm not going to get rid of very many of those. It'll be very easy to say, no, I'm not going to get rid of these. But then there's all the tobaccos I have. I'm not talking about just the 10 tobaccos because I am I'm good on that, But still, every time I go and see it on sale and stuff, like when I go to a pipe show or something, I still end up buying more. And keep thinking, well, I'm going to cellar it because, I got another 10 years in me, so might as well, keep cellaring it. But it's not the tins or even the jars that I'm having a problem with. I wish I'd brought some down. I'll do it later. I've got, by the way, this is a Connecticut from Weston Tobacco Company. We went out to see went out to Weston today, and it was a lot of fun. We went out to see Carlton. And so he always sends me back with a couple of cigars and stuff. And I like them because today's Monday, and I usually don't work on Mondays, but they've called me in to work at 3 o'clock. So I've got to get some stuff done. So what I'll do is I'll nicotine up, get my stuff done. I'll probably smoke it about there, and then at about 2:30, I got to go in, and an hour later, I'll nicotine up again and start all over again. Caffeine's the same way. There's some of us that we couldn't exist without the nicotine, caffeine, Dramamine. My dog's kind of wanting attention. You guys know Fred. Fred? Come on. I never know what he wants. He's at 14 and he's deaf, and so he is real picky, and he just wants mama all the time, and I understand. I want my mama too. Okay, so anyway, this is like I say, these are hand rolled, and his shop. Gosh, years ago when I first started going to the shop, it was really just very minor. He does have a really nice tobacco cigar humidor room, wonderful. But over the years, he's really grown, and it's been nice to watch that because, at first it was his part-time thing. Him and his son used to do it, and then it became, his job. And now I think he is actually working with a cigar company where he's also one of their representatives and stuff. So he got to travel this summer with them, and that was, really neat for him to be able to. It's one of those mom and pop companies that becomes something. And it was something he wanted to do. So isn't that really neat that he actually got to, do something that he wants to do? So few of us get to have the life we want. So anyway, about all of those little bags, I am talking about all kinds of stuff. Most of them are marked. A lot of them don't have dates on them, and some of them are dry and some of them aren't. And some of them were put up right because there'll be a jar, a good-sized tobacco jar, and there'll be like 5 or 6 baggies in it with different kinds of stuff in it. And, you just kind of wonder how much of those flavors have actually melded through those baggies because baggies are not like airtight or anything. And so I don't know, what to do with all that because I hate to get rid of it, And I always have like a jar where I put stuff in that's just leftovers, and a lot of it is just so that when I want to hit a nicotine, I keep, like I say, in every room there's pipes and tobaccos. So I'll keep, matches and pipes and for no other reason, just because I don't want to throw it out. And but just what do you do with those? Well, I was talking with Danny this morning, and he's running into that same problem. He's trying to have a garage sale, but I guess the weather there in California hasn't been very good for a couple of weeks, and he'd like to get rid of, it's like, I can't even begin to tell you how many tobacco stands and tobacco jars and jars that aren't really tobacco jars but are made perfect for tobacco jars because they seal. I just can't even begin to tell you how many of those a person gets in a lifetime. And then what do we do with them? Because I don't know what to do with them. The shipping cost on anything is just so outrageous. There's not enough people here in Leavenworth for me to be able to sell them. And I did have some antique malls and stuff that I had some booths at, and I was selling stuff at them, but not enough to make it worth the while. The rent was costing me more than the... Sold some of Danny's pipes that way. Once again, by the time the rent was done, it pretty much ate up any kind of... It just ate up any kind of... It was like I gave away the pipes for free, and so we pulled out of that. That was not a good way to do those. We do still have a few of his pipes on commissions at some places, and I still have a whole box full of them. I got 2 beautiful Paul Menard billards that were unsmoked. They're just gorgeous. One has a little bit of a green band, and one has a little bit of a orange band, and they're just really a gorgeous pair. And it'd be kind of a shame for them not to. Somebody needs to look. I'll put them up. I got to start doing that again. With me getting out of the house and stuff, I need to go ahead and complete a project. And the project was, I was going to sell Danny's pipes. Well, pretty much I've sold as quite a few, and I have gone above and beyond per him, his expectations. But I'd like to go ahead and get the rest of them done. So you might start seeing me go back to selling things on YouTube or Instagram, which is just, that's a hard sell. You got people like Matt Treasures out there who has a whole warehouse full of pipes. He's just selling the heck out of them. And I can't beat those prices with the pipes. And then he's got, there's just so many. Brandon Daniels, him and Megan, they are just sending out wonderful pipes. There's just so many new pipe makers. That was another thing I was talking to about Danny earlier. Love that smoke. What were we talking about? Oh, pipe makers. Off focus. I hate to lay it down, but I'm going to have to because my ash is just... Some people like to see how long they can get the ash. I get scared now. All right, I'm better. Okay, so we were talking about pipe makers. And when I was young, you got to remember though that I grew up through the 50s and early 60s is this time frame of me being traveling around pipe makers and stuff. There just weren't a lot of them. The machinery that has become so easily to procure now was not as available then. I mean, we're talking about still some of them using, and I hate to admit it, but I think some of those engines, we still had steam, that was producing some of that, those drill bits and things, and a lot of stuff was more hand carved and stuff. And then there was, the big surge on those. So you had the big pipe makers that came in and made them in mass productions, like Medico, Dunhill's in there, Peterson's in there, all of those. And there's so many more. And I know y'all, Marksman, you can all correct me, and I know that, so that's fine. You know what I'm talking about, though. How for a while there was so few artistic pipe makers in the United States. Now, all over the world, there's always been and always will be artistic pipe makers. But that was only allowed to the chosen few because of the cost. The average man couldn't make pipes on his own and sell them and use the amount of time, because the time back then was a heck of a lot more time. I'm not saying you guys don't spend time on your pipes, so don't, tell me no haters or anything. I'm just saying the time that you spend on a pipe now in the turning of it and all that kind of stuff, you've got to remember a lot of it was done by hand, I mean, some of them even were pushing pedals, with their feet to keep these things going. A good example, if you ever want to see what I'm talking about, is go look at Meerschaum Pipe Company, because, and we did a video on that. They still are doing it. Yeah, they're producing, a nice quantity of them, but a lot of that is still, every pipe is touched by hand and stuff. So, so now there are just so many artists out there. If you go to Instagram and you just, pull up pipes, you see so many artistic and pipe makers that are just, there we go again. I say it's wonderful to see so many pipe makers. I'm always impressed as I see them and stuff, and I wish that more of them could stand the test of time. We have a lot of our wonderful pipe makers that come in and make pipes for a while, and then they just can't maintain that. Either they can't maintain it as their source of income, or they can't maintain the consistency and quality that's needed, and sometimes they just can't maintain the quantity that's needed. You get so many orders out there. Someone who loves making pipes starts making pipes, and then pretty soon they're custom making pipes, and then some people like the custom, some people don't, so they're having to deal with a rejection and an injection and a refraction and a detection, infection, and, so they're having to they get that little bit of either a sense of, it's just hard to make a living making pipes. That's the bottom line. And some people have been very lucky in that they've been able to do it. Gosh, I was just going on and on this morning. It's blame it on the nicotine and the caffeine. I got a new Keurig coffee maker, and it's been just, well, we want to see how long it's going to last. I push it to the limit on that kind of thing, on the coffee makers and stuff. Okay, well, so Danny, we talked about how many artistic pipe makers there are out there, and they're just up and coming, and some of them are carving, some of them are doing the old styles. Sometimes there's so many artistic pipes out there that sometimes I just miss seeing a nice, small, good bulldog, Some people are doing a big deal on the edges of the pipes and stuff like that. And me being the piper that I am and knowing how I use pipes, I have those little, spikes and things that they've got on them just burnt up in no time, because there's no pipe in my house that doesn't get abuse of some kind. Either abuse, because I had that done here on that last video that I had never smoked. And to me, that's, if you want to talk about pipe abuse, that's pipe abuse. To have a pipe exposed to the elements and let it get oxidation when you could have kept it in its bag, in its box, and put up and everything. It's a new pipe and you didn't smoke it. It should have been in its bag, so you didn't smoke it. I shouldn't have had that in my cabinet unsmoked. And so I won't do that again. Well, good morning. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. It's just me rattling on again. The other day, I said, everybody taking and, send Danny a YouTube, because he does, he watches this and stuff. And so this morning, he was like, he's catching up. He's seeing them, his sister or I will bring one online for him, and then, he watches it and stuff. But he's like very confused. Why are these people, he didn't know that I told you guys to, send him a YouTube message, and all of a sudden he's going, why are these people doing this to me? And it's like, they're not doing it to you, they're doing it for you. And he gets that, he understands that. It was just kind of like, just a shock out of the blue, because he hadn't watched my video where I said, hey, everybody, send him a video. Or he had watched it, and it kind of slipped his mind as to, what I'd said. So so I got a good laugh out of that, because he's like, what's going on? And, why are these people, what do they want from? It's like they don't want nothing, Danny. They just want to tell you, hey man, we're right there with you. He still doesn't realize the kind of impact he's had on the YouTube community for so many years, and he doesn't understand why people still love him. So it's kind of cute, and let you know that he is watching. I make sure that I get into the text message or into him your guys' YouTube channels and stuff as quick as I catch them. But when I'm working, I can't do that because I can watch YouTube, but I can't talk to YouTube. But do be aware that it was just such a nice surprise when he gets shocked, because he's such a very easygoing, nothing ever bothers him kind of guy, and he's like, it was very humbled and just surprised. And so don't stop. Some of those of you that have done it in the past, and I'm going to probably remind you all every time. Some of those of you that have already done it, wait a couple weeks and just shoot him another, 7 to 20 second message, or however you want to do it, because he has really been enjoying those. So happy. Oh, and I have been too. So just so you know, I'm watching them too. Happy, joy, I'm watching you. Mr. Mystery has done some of the chapters, and I'm thinking that we're getting pretty close to the completion of the book. Mr. Mystery was very nice about putting it all into a watch list or something like that. This old woman, some dogs don't like to learn the new tricks, and I guess I'm just like the old dog that just doesn't want to learn the new tricks. But I do want to say that, I got to do this real quick. I do want to say that thank you. You guys have been so good in the book reading. Harriet, thank you for helping me organize that and stuff. And I've got a little bit more to finish reading myself in the book, and then the book's going to be complete. So this has been a very fun thing to do. And if any of you other pipers out there, you have, all of us have needs and wants and things. And if any of you want to do something like that, contact me. I think that was a very interesting thing to do. But sending the book from person to person to person would have just taken forever, for one reason, because, I'm having a real hard time letting go of the book. And that's my fault and stuff. But, and I just gotta to know that wherever it ends up, it's going to be okay. And it's so hard to believe in the mail system right now, so, and FedEx is so expensive. So it's, I was going to send the book and then have all the postage in there and addresses to keep sending it as it goes. And I'm pretty well got part of that compiled. But I'm not sure how we're going to do it. I'm hoping I can see, but even if you send it in a flat priority, you're still looking at, $6 to $8, and we got 20 people out there, so, but it's not just the money, it's the principle of the thing. I used to be able to send anything I wanted in the mail for a couple of bucks, and now you can't even walk into the post office with a flat package, weighing more than an ounce without it being a couple of bucks. And I'm not really complaining about the post office, because they do a great job. Where else in the whole wide world can you send something from California to New York for 50 cents? So I'm not really complaining about it. It's just, I wish the cost of the packaging wasn't so high. And then I had a package that I was going to send to Indonesia, and I still am getting it together, but I'm having trouble figuring out how to put all of the information in where it says the address. It's Indonesia's islands and stuff a lot. So, not only do you have to get it to that country, but you got to get it to that island, to that specific county, to that specific, little township and stuff, because it's just, it's just not like United States Post Office here, where they go every house every day. So I'm doing that, and I am going to be getting rid of some pipes and some old tobaccos, and I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do that too. I want to go to my plan for that money is to, hoping by the end of April, to have enough money. What I want to do is we're talking about flying Elaine and Danny to Texas, Kevin and I to Texas, picking up a little minivan and traveling in Texas for a little while. And so the money can't just be pulled out of the blue. The money has to be pulled out of somewhere. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. I know I can always put some of my my Dunhills up, and I have enough. I can do that, but that'll be the last resort. You know, I'm not Sue Dunhill for nothing. Happy, happy, joy, joy. You know I'm watching you.